May 12, 2017. A 22-year-old malware analyst in his bedroom registers a domain name for $10.69. $10. He's tracking a ransomware attack spreading faster than anything he's ever seen. Hospitals across Britain going dark, surgeries canceled, ambulances rerouted. But this isn't routine research. That domain name, a random 41-character string buried in WannaCry's code, is actually a kill switch. One registration against a global cyber weapon crippling 300,000 computers in 150 countries. Marcus Hutchins hits enter. The attack stops. Instantly. He's just prevented billions in damage and saved countless lives. What Marcus doesn't know yet is that his heroism has made him visible. And visibility, for someone with his past, is the most dangerous thing in the world. 3 months later, FBI agents approach him at Las Vegas airport. He thinks they want to thank him. They don't. They're pulling out handcuffs. The same skills that stopped WannaCry? They're about to destroy him. How does the man who saved the internet become its most wanted criminal? And can a hero's redemption survive his darkest secret? Marcus Hutchins grew up in rural Devon, England, bullied, withdrawn, the kind of kid who disappeared into his bedroom and didn't come out for days. School was hell. The internet was home. And in the dark corners of hacking forums, he found something he'd never had before. Respect, identity, a community that saw his brilliance instead of his awkwardness. By his early teens, Marcus was deep in black hat communities, learning the craft of malware development. This wasn't harmless curiosity anymore. Around 2011, he met someone online who called himself Vinny, older, more experienced, the kind of mentor every young hacker both wants and should fear. Vinny had a proposition: build me a banking Trojan, something that could steal credentials, drain accounts, move money invisibly. Marcus was 19, maybe 20 years old, and he said yes. He called it Kronos. For weeks, Marcus coded in his bedroom, building malware sophisticated enough to evade detection, to harvest banking data from thousands of victims. What he didn't realize was that every line of code was building his future prison. But that reckoning was still years away. When it was finished, he sold it on the Alpha Bay darknet marketplace for $2,000. $2,000. For code that would go on to infect computers worldwide, stealing credentials, draining bank accounts, causing real financial harm to real people. But here's the insane part. Marcus was young, coerced by someone more experienced, seduced by money and the intoxicating rush of being good at something dangerous. He didn't see the victims. He saw code, problems to solve, respect from people who mattered in his world. Here's the psychological trick that made it work. Young brains crave belonging more than they fear consequences. Marcus wasn't building malware. He was building an identity. Eventually, around 2015, something shifted. Marcus walked away from the criminal world completely, reinvented himself as malware tech, a legitimate security researcher, analyzing threats instead of creating them. By early 2017, he was working for Cryptos Logic, a California security firm, blogging about malware, building a reputation as one of the good guys. His dark past was buried, forgotten. He had no idea it would come back to destroy him. But here's what nobody expected. That past wasn't buried. It was preserved. Every transaction, every forum post, every digital footprint sitting on servers, waiting to be discovered. What Marcus couldn't see was that those servers would soon be in FBI hands. But first, the world needed saving. May 12, 2017. Early morning, security researchers worldwide wake up to digital apocalypse. WannaCry ransomware is spreading at unprecedented speed, exploiting a Windows vulnerability, jumping from computer to computer automatically, encrypting everything, demanding ransom in Bitcoin. The NHS is hit hardest. 34 hospital trusts infected. Doctors locked out of medical records. Emergency rooms in chaos. 13,500 appointments canceled, including 139 for patients with suspected cancer. Surgeries postponed, ambulances rerouted because the hospitals they're heading toward can't access patient data. This isn't just a cyber attack. People are dying. Meanwhile, FedEx goes dark. Nissan, Telefonica, massive corporations grinding to a halt across 150 countries. Within hours, over 300,000 computers are infected, and the number is climbing exponentially. And that's when everything changed. Marcus Hutchins is at his computer in Devon, doing what he always does, reverse engineering the malware, tracking its behavior, trying to understand how it works. He's analyzing a sample when he notices something strange buried in the code. The malware tries to connect to an unregistered domain, a nonsense string of 41 characters that means nothing to anyone, unless it's a kill switch. His mind races through the possibilities. If he registers this domain and it is a kill switch, the attack could stop. Everything, instantly. But what if it's a trap? What if registering it triggers a second stage attack? What if he makes everything catastrophically worse? He has seconds to decide. $10.69 to potentially save the world, or destroy it. He registers the domain. The effect is immediate. WannaCry checks if the domain exists. It does now. The malware shuts down, stops encrypting new machines. The exponential spread halts in its tracks. Gone. Marcus Hutchins has just saved hospitals, businesses, and prevented billions in additional damage. Within hours, the cybersecurity community realizes what happened. Marcus is the hero, the guy who stopped the apocalypse with a domain registration. Interview requests flood in. Security experts praise him worldwide. His employer celebrates him. He's saved millions of people, and he can barely process what just happened. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. UK tabloids dox him, his real name published everywhere. The anonymous researcher is now a public figure, his privacy shattered overnight, from bedroom analyst to global celebrity in 24 hours. What Marcus didn't know was that visibility cuts both ways. The same spotlight revealing his heroism would soon illuminate his crimes. Unbeknownst to him, FBI agents were already building a case. He gives interviews, says he was just doing his job, that he never expected to be called a hero. The Associated Press quotes him, "I'm just a guy who basically registered a domain name." 3 months later, Marcus boards a plane to Las Vegas for DEF CON, the world's largest hacking conference. He's looking forward to it. Everyone wants to meet the guy who stopped WannaCry. The cybersecurity community is treating him like royalty. What Marcus doesn't know is that back in a Wisconsin FBI field office, agents have been building a case, not against the WannaCry attackers, against him. Here's where it gets interesting. July 2017. The FBI and international partners execute the largest darknet marketplace takedown in history. They seize Alphabet, essentially eBay for criminals. Drugs, weapons, stolen data, malware, everything illegal, all in one place. In the seized server data, agents find listings for Kronos Banking Trojan, sold for $2,000. They start tracing digital breadcrumbs, usernames, Bitcoin wallets, forum posts across multiple platforms. The trail leads to an identity, Malware Tech. The same Malware Tech who just stopped WannaCry. The FBI realizes their hero is also a criminal, or was, years ago. But here's the thing, prosecutors can't ignore. Kronos infected thousands of computers, stole banking credentials from real people, caused real financial harm, and someone needs to be held accountable. Marcus has no idea the investigation exists. He's enjoying his hero status, living his best life. The handcuffs are already waiting. August 3rd, 2017. Marcus Hutchins stands at Las Vegas McCarran Airport, preparing to board his flight home to England. DEF CON was incredible. He's exhausted, but happy. FBI agents approach. He's confused, but cooperative. Maybe they want to consult on WannaCry. Maybe they want to thank him in person. Maybe there's been another attack and they need his help. They're reading him his rights, 6 federal charges, creating and distributing Kronos malware, computer fraud, conspiracy, violations of wiretapping laws, all from years ago when he was younger. Marcus is in complete shock. This can't be happening. He stopped WannaCry. He saved hospitals. He's one of the good guys now. None of that matters. He's taken into custody, detained, bail hearing scheduled. Within hours, news breaks and the cybersecurity community erupts. Twitter explodes with outrage. The hashtag #FreeMarcus trends worldwide. Colleagues start raising bail money. Security researchers post testimonials about his character, his reformation, his value to the community. But here's the insane part. 2 camps immediately form. Some supporters say his past doesn't matter. He saved hospitals, prevented billions in damage, clearly reformed himself. He deserves mercy. Others ask harder questions. Does heroism erase crime? If you rob banks for years, does stopping one heist make it okay? What about Kronos victims, the people whose bank accounts were drained, whose financial lives were destroyed? Don't they deserve justice? And here's what makes it truly impossible to resolve. The same skills that let Marcus stop WannaCry, reverse engineering malware, understanding exploit code, thinking like a cyber criminal, are exactly what made him dangerous as a teenager. His greatest strength is his criminal past. Can you punish someone for the very skills that made them a hero? Marcus sits in federal detention for months, trying to process the whiplash. Prosecutors build their case. They argue Kronos caused real harm to thousands of victims, that he profited from criminal activity, that, as one prosecutor would later describe it, he's like a man who spent years robbing banks and then one day came to realize that was wrong, still guilty. His defense team argues he was younger when he created Kronos, coerced by an older criminal online, that he walked away completely, reformed entirely, that his WannaCry work proves redemption is real. He used the same skills for good. It exploited a fundamental human truth. People can change. But the justice system wasn't built to recognize that truth. But here's the painful irony prosecutors can't ignore. The same U.S. government whose hospitals benefited from his kill switch is now prosecuting him. Justice Department attorneys thanking him privately while building a case against him publicly. Marcus is confined to the United States, can't go home to England, legal limbo for nearly 2 years. His career in cybersecurity is frozen. The man who saved 300,000 computers is essentially barred from touching them professionally. What he couldn't see was how the case would test the entire justice system's ability to handle transformation. They hadn't seen anything yet. His lawyers negotiate. Prosecutors push for significant prison time. Deterrence, they argue, matters more than redemption. If Marcus gets a pass because he did one heroic thing, what message does that send to other hackers? April 2019. Marcus agrees to plead guilty to 2 charges related to creating and distributing Kronos. Maximum sentence, 10 years in federal prison. Sentencing is set for July 26th. The question everyone asks, will the judge see a hero or a hacker? Here's where everything hangs in the balance. July 26th, 2019, 10 o'clock in the morning, Federal Courthouse, Eastern District of Wisconsin. Marcus Hutchins stands before Judge Joseph Peter Statmiller, facing a potential decade behind bars. The courtroom is packed. Cybersecurity colleagues, press, supporters who believe in redemption, people who traveled across the country to witness this moment. Prosecutors recommend prison time. They need to send a message that malware development has consequences, that talent doesn't excuse criminality. The defense presents letters of support from security researchers worldwide, evidence of Marcus's complete transformation, documentation of the WannaCry impact, the hospitals saved, the billions in damage prevented, the lives protected. Judge Statmiller deliberates. He acknowledges the seriousness of the crimes. Kronos hurt real people, stole real money, caused real harm. But he also sees the transformation, the reformation, the demonstrated value Marcus brings to society. The courtroom holds its breath. Silence. Time served. 1 year supervised release. No additional prison time. Relief floods the gallery. Supporters cry. The cybersecurity community erupts in celebration online. Judge Stadtmuller notes that Marcus has clearly turned the corner from those kinds of activities, that his contribution to cybersecurity and his demonstrated change matter. Marcus can finally go home to England after 2 years of legal exile. Redemption is possible. But here's what nobody can answer. Did Marcus deserve mercy because he saved millions? Or did his heroism simply spotlight crimes that would have otherwise gone unpunished? Would an unknown hacker with identical teenage crimes get the same sentence? Not a chance. Justice was served. But which kind? Because here's the uncomfortable truth that Marcus's case forces us to confront. He couldn't have stopped WannaCry without the skills he learned creating Kronos. Reverse engineering sophisticated malware requires understanding how to build sophisticated malware. You can't dismantle what you don't understand how to construct. His dark past was the prerequisite for his heroism. That's not comfortable. It's not clean. But it's true. Today, Marcus continues security research. He advocates for criminal justice reform, speaks about his experience. He's become a symbol of the redemption debate in tech communities worldwide. But here's the final twist. His case set no legal precedent. The next reformed hacker might face the full decade. The system still doesn't know how to handle people who transform. And here's the final irony. The actual WannaCry attackers, attributed to North Korea's Lazarus Group, were never prosecuted, never arrested, never faced consequences. The cyber weapon creators walk free while the person who stopped them wore handcuffs. Marcus Hutchins sits at his computer today, still analyzing malware, still protecting people. The same bedroom, the same skills, but a completely different mission. Are we defined by our worst moments or our best? Can redemption exist in a system designed for punishment? As artificial intelligence makes hacking more accessible, more teenagers will face Marcus's choice. Will we punish their reformation? Or will we accept that sometimes the people best equipped to defend us are the ones who understand the darkness? The next global cyber attack is coming. When it does, we'll need people who understand both sides to fight it. We just have to decide. Do we want them as heroes or criminals?